Hi guys, and welcome to R.age, where we tell you what is all the rage and what should be. I'm Bryan.
And I am Sara, and it's F1 week, and today on R.age we explore the more artistic side of Formula One. Well, Bryan, you've met up with Paul-Henri Cahier, right?
Yep.
Yes, and he is a fantastic F1 photographer. How was the experience?
Well, I must say it was the best interviews I've had the pleasure of doing. He's a very well-spoken guy, very eloquent, a lot of experience. Now, Paul,
where's he from?
Well, okay, he grew up in France.
Hence, Henri Cahier.
Henri Cahier. His father is French and his mom is American. And he's actually married to a Japanese woman.
Wow, talk about.
He's very worldly, you know.
Very United Colors of Benetton, right?
Exactly, yeah. Okay. Well, now Paul-Henri Cahier and his late father Bernard Cahier are the two most famous photographers in the history of motor racing.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yep, since like 1950s.
When did his father start?
1952, exactly. Yep. So like right when F1 started, his father started.
That's probably when cameras were invented too.
Exactly.
I'm kidding.
The father started F1 photography when he was born. Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
So he's not that young either.
No, he's not that young.
Well, Henri, of course, is in Singapore to cover the Singapore F1 race. I'm sure you know what it's about. Formula One, you cannot turn without getting bombasted with.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, you'd be wise to check out their work at Cathay Gallery from the 20th of September to the 31st of October. That's at the Cathay, right?
Yeah, Cathay, the one near Dhoby Ghaut.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, well, the exhibition is called Grand Prix, the F1 Legend True Photography, and it presents 64 black and white and color photographs by the father and son team, and spans the F1 history from the 1950s when the sport was at its most dangerous.
Yeah.
Yep.
That time,
Yep.
They used to travel with the fuel lines right next to them.
Exactly.
And the like oil right next to them as well. So like.
And back in the day, they used to do banking. You know, like the banking where it's like an incline track, and they used to go. Now we do on flat surfaces, lah. But anyway, the exhibition, the gallery has like pictures from like all the way from 1950s to present day. And I had the pleasure of sitting down and talking to Paul-Henri, where he talked about his father, the business of the F1, and the philosophy and skill behind photography. Here's how the interview went.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. How did our eyes get so red? And what the hell is on Joey's head? This is where I grew up.
And we have Paul-Henri with me. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you too.
It's a pleasure of mine. Okay, now I'm just going to get right into it.
Okay, shoot.
You were born into like an F1 family, so to speak, right?
Very much so.
Yeah, and during your childhood, you met all these famous F1 drivers. They came to your house.
That is correct.
They knew your late father.
Absolutely.
What was it like growing up in that sort of environment?
Well, it was very crazy and very special. You know, I was not like the other kids. Already, my mother was American, my father was French, and we were living in France. So I was already the guy saying, he's a little American guy. So that was strange.
Yep.
And then I was also known because my father would have, friends and race drivers, and he'd come with nice cars and up to the house.
Famous people, right?
Like, and they were all famous people. Would go into the local paper and they'd come and take pictures at the house.
So were you starstruck? Like, do you know who these people were?
Oh, to me it was natural.
It was normal, right?
To me it was it was not normal for the other people watching me, but for me it was totally natural. I felt at ease with Fangio or with Graham Hill as I did with any other person.
And little did you know that sort of like normality helped you in your job today, right?
Yeah, I think it did. Yes, it did. I always felt it was like a natural thing for me, very much so. Although it was not obvious at first.
Yeah.
Because even though I had talent for photography, you always want to be different from your father. And my father was a pretty strong person. And so it took me a while to accept the fact that this was going to be my life.
Interesting. Okay, can you describe your style of photography compared to your father's?
Compared to my father's, well, I'm much more artistically inclined, shall we say. He was a true photojournalist, and he was an incredible snapshotter, my father. Not in a negative way.
Yep.
He was the king of snapshots.
Yep.
Yeah, bling, big, and it was there. And the people were there, and they had the right expressions and everything. I tried to get the wow shots. The picture you go, wow, this is really great, because it's a form of art in a way.
It's Singapore's first Grand Prix, and it's also the first night race. Have you photographed in these conditions before, like a night condition?
Night condition experience is 24 hours of Le Mans, which is the great endurance race. But in that case, you have cars with headlights and no street lights. Here we have street lights and no headlights. So it will be interesting because it is a first. It's definitely a first.
So even with all your experience and everything, it's still something new, right?
Yeah,
so
it's something
exciting,
new.
Right?
It is exciting. I like to be there and feel all the elements, the light, the surroundings, and then I will decide what I do. So I'm not putting any stress on myself to, how am I going to deal with this situation? No, I don't do that. I know I will.
How do you go about picking a few photos from like the thousands or the millions of photos for an exhibition?
That's a nightmare.
Yeah? I would think so.
It's a nightmare. Yeah. It's very difficult. You have to sort of... I think an exhibit has to have a form of a theme. It has to be concentrated in a way. We've left out other parts, which are very important. Technical part, graphic parts, landscapes. None of that is basically in this exhibit. It's more concentrated on the evolution of man and machine in that period. It's a good theme.
What do you think of the drivers, and or slash the sport now compared to when you started? What is different,
I'll put it this way: everything is different, except you still have race drivers and race cars.
This is a beautiful one, too.
This is incredible.
This is incredible because you don't realize how much Grand Prix can mean to some people when you see.
Oh, that's what it says.
See this,
That's what it says.
Right in the center.
Yeah.
Everyone's
and that little
rushing
car,
to him.
That little car.
Everyone is rushing to him.
Yeah, they're going mad. But this is Tifosi.
Look at the guy right there. He's going crazy.
This is Tifosi, Italy, Monza. I mean, this is why Ferrari is Ferrari. It's because of this. Because of this incredible wild passion that developed first in Italy and then in the rest of the world. In my father's days, in the 50s and 60s, race drivers were basically not paid. They didn't make any money. They came and they had starting money, which was very small. And if they won or were on the podium, they made a little money, but it was all small because they had expenses, and so they were doing it purely for the passion and certainly not for the money. Today they do it certainly for the money because the money is huge. I mean, the best paid drivers get 30-40 million US dollars a year. This is huge amounts of money, and so do they also do it for the passion? I like to believe so, yes. I think that they would not be able to otherwise because it's hard work. It's very hard work. This is last year. It's Kimi Räikkönen becoming world champion. So he wins the race and he's world champion. And we're in Brazil. I thought, well, I'm going to put myself down the pit lane, use a 600 lens, and get a sky background. And then I know the champagne's going to come. And when the champagne comes, I know they're going to move. And that's what happened. He moved over and he moved in front, and they threw out all these little pieces of shiny paper. And then I had this picture, which is highly unusual.
This is the taste of victory.
It's the taste of victory, yeah.
It's shot of victory.
It's the lights going on and the magic, and it's magic.
I want a camera now.
Oh, you want a camera? Well,
Yeah.
the camera he uses a Canon, actually. Canon,
The cameraman's offering us the camera. But yeah, you were telling me just now as well that he might actually retire.
Yeah, he was telling me, I kind of left it out, but yeah, he was telling me off camera that he was thinking of retiring because if you look at all the equipment he carries, like you were commenting on how big the lenses are, right?
It's huge. Like, it's this long, like as long as my arm.
As long as my arm. So yeah, so the lenses are really big, the equipment are really just heavy, and it takes a toll on you.
Yeah, it does.
And
sure.
he's getting older.
Does it take a toll on you then?
Yeah, I sort of lean to my right sometimes.
Ha, very funny.
Anyway.
To the left. But, but you see, like, because of that, he doesn't want to continue.
No, I think. Well, I think he's reached like he was telling me that it's always good to leave at the top of your game.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. I think a lot of people actually do that. But like, I think it's really cool that he's done so much so far.
Oh, yeah.
I would agree that there's a lot of equipment to carry, and that is why we admire our cameraman.
Of course.
Thank you.
You
We
the
have to
man.
applaud all our
You the man.
cameramen, our camera crew and everything, yeah.
Okay, but did you hear that?
I like how
you
much.
many, but yes. Okay, so we're going for a short break so that me and Brian can just, hug our cameraman.
Aww.
Aww.
Come here.